Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Friday, July 27th, 2018. I'm Alex Kalafi, joined today by a semi-full panel of Nintendo News reporters to do a little bit of what we've been playing, a little bit of news, and 100% good times. I am joined today by one Mr. Young Master Donald Terrio. Hello.
Hello. We may still get a fourth here. I did invite Zach to jump in if you wanted to. So
Okay.
we may have a wild Alaskan appearing here shortly.
All right. So potentially full show. Schrodinger's Nintendo News Report. Also joined by Justin Berube, former world champion of Sky Skipper.
Two-time world champion. Been going back
Two-time.
and forth between me and this one guy. We'll get into that.
Whoever is the world champion gets to be called Skipper. It's, I think that's a good nickname in this context, but in no other. Nintendo News Report this week. We're talking about some indie games. For once, I've actually been playing a lot of games, which is why we're going to start with me. I've been playing Pool Panic, the new Adult Swim joint made by Angus Dick and Reekim Games, where...
I'm assuming that spells something backwards.
Reekim... Oh, Mike R. Yeah. Duh. Yeah, no, I believe that's it. But it's basically two guys who made it. I don't know if it's literally two guys, but it's two main people who worked on this together. Angus is the one who did the very, very good art in the game. And I'm guessing Mr. Reekim is more on the other parts of development. But either way, it's kind of a puzzly sort of game where you are a pool. It's a cue ball, and you play pool on various maps, and they're all wacky and outrageous. One of them, you're in a house, and you're trying to get mouse balls into the holes, and there's cheese, and it's kind of crazy. There's another one where it's medieval times, and you gotta pull down a gate to cross the moat, and then you have to get the king 8-ball into the hole. And it's a very goofy sort of puzzle game where you're cue ball and you're just putting all these wacky situations where you play billiards and get it into the holes. The humor is off the chain. It's not off the chain. It's a very cute, funny game. I would call it probably the most Adult Swim-like of these games I've played before, which is something I still feel after playing the full version of the game. The art style does remind me of almost like a little Rick and Morty, a little bit of Cuphead with the world map. Very nice animation. I also get some Super Jail vibes from it. So it's very Adult Swim like. I like it. The gameplay's good. It feels pretty good. The pool part's pretty good. My only umbrage, and this is something I think you might appreciate, Donald, it's a very easy game.
Oh, good.
You're not going to face much resistance. Or you might get frustrated because you'll probably sink your own ball into the hole a lot like I did. But otherwise, I haven't seen a game over. Like, I don't think that's even possible. It's more just, can you meet the conditions of the level and the least amount of hits? Can you get all the balls instead of just the minimum required, including all the hidden ones? Can you, not sink your own ball or the 8-ball before the time is right? It's got some pool standards. Like, the game is as hard as you want to make it. A lot of levels in the game, I believe over 100, and I think there's different music for each level. All of it's very, very visually diverse. It's an extremely impressive game. My only critique is that it's so easy that I do find myself getting a little touch of the boredom from time to time. But the game is funny enough and cute enough and pretty enough that I still find myself more enjoying it than not. But it's worth knowing that it's a fairly easy game before going into it.
Something nice and relaxing, which we'll get into this later, but I could use that right now. So
Yeah.
maybe a nice palate cleanser for when I finally dig into Octopath.
It is a very good palate cleanser because it feels effortless, not in a bad way, but almost in a when you watch like stand-up comedy, and it just it's a very easygoing game in a way that I appreciate, even though I'm sure that the developers must have put a buttload of work into the game to make it so easygoing and polished. So, very good so far, or at least pretty good. I'm still working on it. We'll see. We'll see as I get into the later levels if I end up getting a little bit of a stiffer challenge, but otherwise a soft recommendation for that one. I've been playing the Mega Man X Legacy Collection. I've been playing Mega Man X in the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, as
Me
have you,
too.
Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never beat the game before. You've probably beaten it dozens and dozens of times.
Yeah, I mean, I remember picking this game up when it came out. I remember going to the store. I think it was shortly after Christmas or maybe early January. I had some money left over that year, and I saw Mega Man X, and I'd never heard of Mega Man X. I was a huge Mega Man fan, and just that box art of X jumping, like I think he's in the underwater level and shooting, and I'm like, wow, what kind of Mega Man is this? And I just had to have it. I spent my money on that game and took a huge chance, and I think it was totally worth it. I love this game.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I believe I'm 5 bosses in. Which I got through today. It's a little tougher from the outset, I'd say, than the other NES Mega Man games I played. I've played 1 through 6, and I would call this one of the hardest starts, just because I think I had to play almost every boss to find out. Okay, the ice one and the bird one are the two that I should probably be focusing on first.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that because of the nature of the game and the collectibles in it that you start with like half the health that you normally would have.
Okay. Oh, so I probably should be getting more health pickups. I've only gotten 2 so far.
Yeah, you definitely want to have it because it will, I think, double your life meter.
Well, yeah, you want the health pickups, and when you get the chest power-up piece, I think that halves your damage or something like that. So that's important to get too. But the most important power-up to get right away is those boots that you get from the penguin stage, Chill Penguin.
Yeah, but you get those immediately.
Yeah, you need to go there first because that gives you such huge mobility options in this game. It gives you the ability to dash. It gives you the ability to dash jump for like a huge distance, and it gives you the ability to like wall jump quicker and to jump off the walls a large distance if you do it at the same time.
But the other ones, like the armor and whatnot, those are probably a little trickier to find.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've never been able to get the shot enhancement without either a password or getting it at a later point.
Gotcha.
And there's another power up you can get too, which is kind of you don't need it. You don't need a lot of these, but this is like a secret power up kind of thing.
Oh boy, I'm probably gonna have to ask you after the show because I don't want to spoil the
for people,
folks.
even though the game's like over 25 years old or something at this point.
But it's good.
Yeah.
I played some Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 the other week, and I kind of didn't really get into it. I tried a little 7, didn't click with me. Tried a little 8, obviously didn't click with me. Tried a little 9 and 10, and those didn't even necessarily click with me right away. Even though I played 1 through 6 and I loved all of them, Mega Man X, I would say, is more up my alley.
Yeah, I like the original trilogy. Yeah. After the first 3, I think it starts to go downhill. But some people think X4 is okay too, but I didn't like it as much.
The X trilogy, not the NES, not the original Mega Man trilogy.
Yeah, as far as the original Mega Mans go, I think 1 through 6 are amazing. 7 and 8, not so good. And I'm going to include Mega Man and Base in there too, because I feel like that's secretly like Mega Man 8.5. And then I like 9 and 10 a whole lot.
Okay. Maybe I'll give 9 and 10 a shot at some point. But 1 through 6 are real good games. Even 4 and 5, which I wasn't necessarily as big into, are still quite good. But Mega Man X, I'm enjoying. It feels like the original Mega Man, but on steroids.
What do you think of the music?
Good. It's quite good.
I agree. I love it.
Yeah, I haven't played it enough times to get like the intimate sort of appreciation for it that you have. But when you said Mega Man X music, I was like, dun 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 dun. It's pretty good. That's Mega Man X music, right? I'm not making that up.
Storm Eagle.
Yeah, yeah. So, Mega Man X, pretty good so far. And I think it's cool that they ultimately release these as collections and not as separate games. Because, boy, would Mega Man X 7 and 8 not have sold that many copies if they released these like piecemeal for 8 apiece.
Yeah, that would have ended badly for everybody, I think. Although I'll say this about X4, I've gotten to the very end of that game. I don't mind it. It's not, I will not buy this collection unless it's on sale like Mega Man 8 is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's because Mega Man X's collection, my impression is that it's a little bit of hit and miss kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've played them all except the last two, so I can't really comment on those.
Are you interested?
7 and 8. Yeah, I'm hoping to go through all of them in order, because I beat, I think, Mega Man X in like an hour and a half last night.
Mm. Yeah.
I probably could have gone faster if I didn't forget how to get that final power up fully that I was thinking at, but that wasted probably like 15 minutes on that alone.
Very good. Very good. 2 more games, a little more housekeeping. Wolfenstein 2 I beat. Finally. I played it on the easiest difficulty, which is very, very not Alex, but I really liked playing that game on easy because let me tell you, the story in Wolfenstein 2, I really like it. I think some of the moments in Wolfenstein 2 do the man in the high castle sort of like alternate World War II thing better than any other World War II alternate fiction I've seen. And there are 2 or 3 scenes in that game that are borderline jaw-dropping and make you go, man, they built a really good world. So, there are scenes in that game that I really want to talk about, but I can't because if I did, it would spoil some of the coolest stuff I've seen in games all year. So, story in that game is really good. The gameplay, it kind of reminds me of like a circa 2008, 2010 first-person shooter where you're just drilling your way through the game, and then at 2 or 3 points, it just drops you in the middle of a circle with like 50 million enemies around you, and you have to either save scum it or go to a corner and kill them all, like in classic late 2000s era first-person shooting, which is the reason why I played it on the easiest difficulty. Also, the levels are kind of difficult to get around, not because they're labyrinths intentionally and you're just supposed to find your way organically, but because I'm pretty sure whoever designed the levels did a not great job at directing the player, even subtly Uncharted style. Like I really felt like a chicken with my head off at some points exploring the levels. So I would say easy difficulty alleviates some of that, but it is recommended. I recommend Wolfenstein 2 overall. I would say maybe get it on sale if that game ever goes on sale. I know Doom hasn't really yet.
I think it had one pretty early on, but yeah, I think probably toward Black Friday we'll probably see something on it.
Yeah, so pretty cool. And then Sonic Mania I beat. Excuse me. Yeah, Sonic Mania I beat. That's a really good game. Took me maybe 3 hours total, but it's a Sonic game, so it's made to be replayed. I'm playing some other stuff right now, so I'm not necessarily going to go through and get the true ending. I just got the basic one. But, man, I can't really think of another better Sonic game if I tried. Like, there's maybe my original memories with Shadow the Hedgehog. Maybe Sonic Adventure 1 as I remember that game, not as it actually exists. Maybe I liked Sonic Lost World a little bit at the time I played it, but I'm having a hard time thinking of a Sonic the Hedgehog game that I enjoyed on a pure level in the way that I felt I enjoyed Sonic Mania. So,
the Smash Brothers count?
I don't even like Sonic in Smash Brothers. He's too fast.
I don't like him either.
He's really unwieldy. I don't have a problem with his presence. I think it's cool that he's in Smash Bros. He's not my favorite to play as. But yeah, Sonic Mania beaten. That's a cool game. Justin, tell me about Sky Skipper again.
Yeah, well, last week I just barely played Sky Skipper, but since then I've gone deep into the Sky Skipper and managed to have the top rank score ever in Sky Skipper on 2 occasions in the past week. So Sky Skipper, you fly around, hit gorillas, which launch these characters out, which you have to collect. If you collect them in a certain order, you get more points. So if you collect all the ones that have the spades on it first, then the diamonds and hearts, whatever. If you get all the same suit, they're tied to like different card suits, you get bonus points. Or if you just collect the right colors, so all the same color in order, you get a little less points. But in the end game, a lot of that doesn't matter because you get to the last level, which is 2-4. There's 4 levels. They repeat once. Then the last level just repeats itself indefinitely. So by the time you get to that point, it comes down to mastery of that level and just trying to survive. Your fuel gauge drops a lot faster in that level, so you basically have to play it near flawlessly on the correct path every time. And that's where the end game really comes in Sky Skipper, is mastering that last level and pushing yourself not to screw up. And it was very repetitive at that point. But that's how you get a world record in Sky Skipper, is to master that last stage. And it's something I've managed to do.
So did you ever pull off a kill screen? Like, does it get to the point that it's just impossible?
I don't think there is a kill screen from what I've seen, because on the original mode version, you can use save states. And I've gotten pretty far on that. And just using save states. And I have not seen a kill screen. So I don't know.
But have you gotten 256 levels into the game yet? That's the question.
Probably not. But I still have that save going, so every once in a while I'll do just go over the level a couple times for practice. But yeah, I mean, is it the best game? No, I reviewed it on the site, gave it a 7 out of 10. You can read more details about that in the full review, which I recommend reading because I go into a lot of details there. But I would still recommend picking it up because I think this is a nice historical curiosity, and it's awesome that Nintendo released it, because even like a year ago, even months ago, before they even announced this, I'd say this is a game Nintendo's never even going to look back on or give us the chance. I guess technically Hamster did, but Nintendo had to give him the okay. Yeah. So I really think this is something Nintendo fans should support. But Nintendo goes back to this group of games that are probably lost right now, stuck on old arcades or what have you. Just maybe only Nintendo has some of these old things. Give them some encouragement to put them out there for us, because this is kind of like a Star Fox 2 situation.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's really neat that they put this game out. Although the only thing I would say is Nintendo probably did put a good amount of work in this. I'm guessing if they only had one original functional arcade cabinet, it wasn't just Hamster converted it over. I'm guessing there had to be a certain amount of legwork and care and supervision on Nintendo's part. I'm guessing, I don't know if this is the case for all of the arcade machines, but for this one, I'm sure Nintendo was a very active participant.
Yeah, and I think Nintendo fans should encourage that by purchasing the game. And I'm guessing it didn't sell that great, because the high score mode, last I checked, only had around 70 or 80 people tracked, and it can do 100. So if you're listening, go pick up Sky Skipper. It may not be the best game. It is interesting, though, and it's only $8.
Hashtag save Sky Skipper.
Again. Save it again.
Give the series a future.
Oh, yeah.
Sky Skipper.
We need a sequel.
We need a Sky Skipper reference in Smash Ultimate.
I'm typing in hashtag Sky Skipper for Smash. There was one Joe Foreman. He said Sky Skipper for Smash. So, well, at least one person wants Sky Skipper in Smash. I think Sakurai's gonna listen.
The main character's name is Mr. U.
Yeah. It's Sky Skipper will get Mr. U will get in. He'll say damn at all the characters, including all the newcomers that are obviously gonna get in the game, like Ashley from WarioWare and the Skull Kid from Majora's Mask and King K. Rool. I'm just kidding. King K. Rool actually has a chance.
Well, yeah, I mean, that reminds me. I'm working on a feature about my most wanted characters in Smash, but if you want to take a look at that now, you can check it out on Patreon.
Very good. Very good.
So it's patreon.com/NWR.
Leave an email.
Plug in there.
There you go. Patreon.com/NWR. Leavenede says he also really wants to get Wolfenstein. Also concurs with you. Says Sky Skipper's real weird.
Yep.
Yep.
I've been streaming all those runs just so if it were ever added to Twin Galaxies, the Arcade Archives version, I could submit it for a high score.
Nice. Or you could go to New Hampshire and play an arcade cabinet version if they ever get a reproduction that they'd call legal, which I doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless if the Switch scores would be accepted, couldn't they use a Switch and then make an arcade, like a sort of booty arcade machine?
There's already things for that out there that turn the Switch into an arcade cabinet. Does the game support vertical play, Justin?
I'm pretty sure it does. I don't think I've checked that option, but all the Arcade Archives have been. But this game, I don't think, was a vertical game. So,
okay.
I mean, I'd have to check. I mean, I don't have a cabinet to check, but I know somebody who would have the answer.
All right. Donald, what have you not been playing this week?
Okay, so let's see here. I would like at some point to pick up Wolfenstein. I got Octopath Traveler and Sonic Mania Plus on the same day. Haven't had a chance to touch either of those. I bought West of Loathing last month. Still haven't played that. And I'd also like to try Sky Skipper, Donkey Kong. Looking at this week's last week, I finally got Pool Panic with some help.
Yes.
And yeah, I haven't even gotten a chance to do Mega Man yet. Basically, I can only really play games twice, like 2 days a week now, because I between work, coming home, and then making sure everything's updated on the site, and then by the time I get everything done, it's about 12:30 at night when I have to go to bed at like half an hour, so I can't really go into anything. I'm kind of glad I have this weekend here to actually try and see how much of the stuff I can get through. But between that and things like Devolver announcing they're putting out a game a week for 6 weeks, starting last week with the Enter the Gungeon update, and going on with things like Minute in 2 weeks, Not a Hero next week, and The Messenger on the 23rd of August, it seems like. Doing that, like they announced, like there were 3 big announcements on Wednesday for like Surgeon Simulator, and which is in the fall, thankfully. But we've got a Picross game coming out next week. We've got Iconoclast, Salt and Sanctuary. And even though I'm someone who doesn't get into roguelikes, Metroidvanias, or Dark Souls ofs, there's still way too much for me to play right now. So I'm this close to just saying screw it and just starting back up Breath of the Wild. Just declare bankruptcy and just go back to first principles.
Because you never beat that one.
No.
You never beat Xenoblade 2 either.
I'm on Chapter 3 of Xenoblade 2.
You're almost there.
And they just dropped a new update for it. Same with Kirby.
Those are big updates, too. Kirby has new content, and then Xenoblade 2 added their extreme difficulty and a customizable difficulty and a new blade and some new other stuff because it's like the best supported game Nintendo has ever had, probably. Outside of maybe Splatoon, but you know.
So yeah, because of the back injury a couple months ago, I might have an extra week's vacation to burn. So let's hope I'm hoping that does come through, because I'm going to need that long just to play the stuff that's come out in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's a great time for the Switch, but not a great time for Donald to be playing video games, it sounds like. All right, we got 4 news stories. They should go relatively quick. The third Labo kit was announced apropos of nothing last night. It's launching September 14th. It's going to be vehicle themed. It's got a plane, a submarine, a car, and the impressions I've seen are that this actually looks like it might be the most impressive of the Labo kit so far. Or at least that's what the early impressions suggest.
That's what it looks like. I mean, I didn't get to play the robot one. I have it, but I just haven't had time to sit down and really build it for a couple reasons. But this game looks pretty awesome with the way you can just switch vehicles and do things. It looks like there's a lot more to do in the world. Like, kind of explore it.
It looks like Breath of the Wild plus Wii Sports Resort. Like the
Plus
world.
Many things to do in the world.
And well, I mean, they added Labo support to Mario Party Deluxe, so we had the bike already, so we had to get a car at some point. But I sure as heck wasn't expecting a submarine.
Yeah. I hope it's got some Pilot Wings tier content. I saw him throw a bomb that's very Zelda-like.
Now, one thing I did notice in the trailer is you see a Japanese Rob in the background in the garage with Famicom games next to it, which I thought was kind of weird since this is targeted toward the American or Western audiences, I'm guessing. I don't know if Japan got their own separate trailer or not. I haven't looked into that, but
they got their own trailer, but what do you think? They put a North American Rob with NES games in the background?
I don't know. I'm just asking, what are the odds that this let's just assume they're North American. This North American family has a Japanese Rob with Famicom games sitting next to it in their garage. It's like the one garage in America. I know.
Maybe they shot it. Maybe they shot it in like Jeremy. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say maybe they shot it in like Jeremy Parrish's garage.
It's just kind of weird. I like it, but it's weird. It's one of those things that gets people like me talking.
Leavenede says, as long as the game's content is good, I will buy this Labo kit. I didn't buy the other 2. So. All right.
No, it looks interesting. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah. I think it's exciting that's coming out a month from now. Hopefully they do a Cardboard Rob one a few months after that. I don't know how, but it'd be neat. But it's for kids, so I don't think Rob would necessarily fly well with the kids, even though Rob is in Smash. I think that'd be like an adult Toy Con. Oh, well. Third Labo kit. NBA Playgrounds 2. We finally found out why it got delayed. Now it's getting published by 2K. It's releasing in the fall.
And they renamed it to NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, which I'll point out there was not a NBA 2K Playgrounds.
But, well, there was now. But they didn't acquire the company. It's almost like they just acquired the publishing rights, your news story says.
Yeah, they like Saber's still developing it independently. But yeah, they are going to, like, 2K is just going to publish it. I don't know if it's something to do with maybe they're stepping up their exclusivity on the NBA license. But if that's the case, NBA Live 2K19 or 2019 wouldn't be coming out this year.
Yeah. They could have good intentions with the brand. Like,
yeah.
Maybe the game's almost there, and a AAA publisher would maybe get it past the finish line a little better. I mean, I say AAA publisher, and I get a certain taste in my mouth, but
the thing to be worried about is that game had enough randomness in it in how you unlock the players to begin with. Now put the option to buy stuff in there, and this might be a $20 gacha game.
I think we're past that for major publishers.
Not for 2K.
No.
Have you seen what they've done with the regulation NBA games?
Well, I saw what they did with last year's. I don't know if they're going to do the same with this year's.
Yeah. And they are like those things are rife with things you can pay to avoid. Like a lot of they've really pushed the virtual currency, buying it with microtransactions. It's I'd say it's a not insignificant portion of their annual revenue, that in GTA Online. Although they claim that they're stepping up their wrestling game as well. They said that in their shareholder call this week, and I kind of believe that, considering WWE 2K19 is not coming to Switch.
Yeah, you might get a good game on another platform this time.
Possibly, although really the only wrestling game you need to worry about on a console this year comes out at the end of August.
What was the last good WWE 2K? Because I feel like the last few have been really upsetting some people.
Can I just say the last good WWE game was No Mercy?
You may notice.
I think at that, like, it's not just WWE. Like, at that, you're not even looking at the 2K games, because I guess it would be the last one THQ put out, which was 13, because that had like the most full-featured story creation, which led to Video Game Championship Wrestling, among other things. But in terms of the actual gameplay, like, that series hasn't really been good since like the PS2. Like, Here Comes the Pain, I think, is the last one that I actually really enjoyed playing.
Okay.
But Fire Pro will save us all. So
Fire Pro will save us all. I have it on PC. It's okay. I mean, I'm sure I'm not necessarily a big wrestling guy. I'm sure for people who like wrestling, it's much better. Here's an interesting one. Paladins, the free-to-play version's available now. They took down the Founders Pack that went up at E3, which was $29.99, I believe, to unlock all the characters. And now there's just a free-to-play version. You can buy in-game currency. I'm interested in playing this knockoff Overwatch, but I'm saving all my free-to-play time for Warframe when that comes out.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. I didn't expect it to be that quick, but I suppose it just was taken off the other platforms as well, so we're getting platform parity on it, basically.
Yeah. All right. Taiko no Tatsujin. Drum and Fun. After there were all these data mines and hints and rumors and rating board classifications, we finally got confirmation. Taiko is coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Switch in November in North America.
November 2nd is the big day. Which version you want depends on, do you want to control this by drumming with Joy-Cons and want Kirby and the Splatoon Squid, among others, or do you want to use a controller and have to deal with Hello Kitty?
Well, but you also get to deal with Hatsune Miku, and I believe there are. It's what else is there? There's Hatsune Miku. I think that's and Hello Kitty and One Piece. Oh wait, no, the anime ones have representation in both, I believe. I hope it's the full song list. I'm guessing it is. With maybe one or two exceptions, but I'm guessing it's probably a mostly complete song list. Yeah, these are two different games. The PS4 one was released last year, and the Switch one just came out in Japan about a week or two ago. And the Asian version, which has an English patch that's come out in a couple weeks. And I was going to buy that version because I really wanted to play this game, but I was going to wait a little bit to see if Taiko would get announced for the West after all these rumors, and lo and behold, it did. So I might just wait until November. Unfortunately, not be the cool guy who gets to import the game because I don't necessarily need to play the game right away. But then I'll get to buy the DLC if I enjoy the game a lot. There's a demo on the Japanese eShop right now for the Switch version, and it controls pretty well. So there you have it. A very ARMS-like, where it's like slant of the controller sort of controls whether you're hitting the side of the drum or the drum itself. So Very good. I do believe that is all the news for this week. The news drought, it's not fully a drought, but the no direct, no huge Nintendo news that's earth-shattering and worth an hour-long show, or it reaches like week 4 at this point.
Yeah, although next week is earnings week, so since it's the first quarter, they did the Q&A in June at the annual shareholders meeting. This one may not be as news heavy, but there's still going to be a fair bit to talk about next week, I think.
And in news that I'd care about, there is a new First Four Figures Kirby Warp Star Kirby statue going up for pre-order next week. So
for
if you
$400.
Yeah, probably.
You gonna get it?
It'll probably look cool. Yeah, I'll probably get it.
You'll probably get it. Most recent. Okay. Yeah, no reviews this week. Feel free to review us on iTunes, by the way. I will read reviews on the show. We have 15 ratings, looking for 16th. Positive or negative, I will of course address it. Joel says Paladins is great on the Switch. Leaving has also heard it runs really well. Oh, and then the online, Leavened reminded me. The online stuff, you can buy the 3-month codes and the 12-month codes on Amazon now. So if you want a code for an online service that doesn't become available until September, you now have the option to do that in the States. At least the States. So there's something neat, I guess. But that's our Nintendo News Report. Follow us on the Twitters. Donald Mick, Justin Berube is King Nintendo fan. I'm at Kulafia. Also on iTunes, Nintendo News Report, patreon.com/NWR. Lots of reviews on NintendoWorldReport.com. Have a good night. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Skyscraper. Yeah.